this half-mile oval. As we get ready to go into tonight's program, let's check in with Drake York.
Thank you so much, Brian. For the second year in a row, the USAC Silver Crown Series has returned to Hutchinson, Kansas, Salt City Speedway. Of course, we talk about Salt City. You actually got a chance to tour some of the mines today, and I'm kind of kicking myself because it looked like a cool experience. Of course, the Salt City name comes from the salt deposits they found here back in the late 1800s. And overall, just a really great town. We were here last night, of course, for practice. We'll get to some of that here in just a second. Some big breaking stories to come out of practice to cover. But it was great checking out the racetrack. My first time here, and hopefully everybody has a great night out here at the Hutchinson Fairgrounds, or the Kansas State Fairgrounds rather, here for, as I said, the Salt City 100, the second year in a row the USAC Silver Crown Series has been here to Hutchinson, Kansas. Let's take a look at our season-long USAC Silver Crown Series points headed into tonight's round here at Salt City Speedway. Justin Grant, after his second USAC Silver Crown title, currently leads the way with 463 points. C.J. Leary sits in second, 89 points back in second. Matt Westfall third, Cody Swanson fourth, Logan Seavey rounding out the top five, Kyle Steffens, Greg Corey, Dakota Armstrong, Bobby Santos, and Dave Berkheimer round out the top 10. And of course, a lot of those drivers aren't here tonight as well, so you can expect some shakeup into the points when it comes to the USAC Silver Crown Series. A little bit of a different operation we're doing here for our Dirt Draft Heavy Driver matchup. It's actually Pit Reporter versus Driver tonight. Yes, you see that ugly little gremlin on the left-hand side of your screen at USAC Driver 1. That's me, Drake York. I'm going up against Shane Cochran. We'll start off with me because, well, I am the best. And I've chosen Jake Swanson, Chase Stockin, Mario Klauser, Stephen Bybent, and Travis Mahoney. And you can find me post-race in the public lobby at USAC Driver 1. As I said, I'll be going up against Shane Cochran. He has chosen himself, Jake Swanson, Danny Jennings, Kip Hughes, and Travis Mahoney. We'll try to cycle in Brian, Christie, and Genevieve in the action as well, too. We kind of did that. Let's take a look at the show, at least as far as the USAC Silver Crown Series goes. Dirt Draft practice will be on the card first for the USAC Silver Crown Series. From there, honest Abe roofing qualifying, unlike the sprint cars or midgets, no heat races. How they qualify is how they'll race for 100 laps here in Hutchinson, Kansas. Of course, last night was a practice night out here for the Silver Crown cars and teams, and a lot of drivers found trouble, namely two of them. Greg Corey, first off, had a scary accident in turn number 3, hit the wall and went over the fence and flipped out of the park in turn number 3. Needless to say, that car was totally destroyed. Steve Jennington had a similar accident in turn number 3. He kind of got up on the rough stuff on the entry to turn number 3, hit the wall, and destroyed the front of that race car pretty heavily. So those two drivers and cars that were expected to be here for most of the week, not in competition here tonight for the Salt City 100. And one of the big topics to come out of practice last night was the lack of ability to pass. A lot of the drivers was telling me it was just a little too narrow, a little too difficult, a little too risky to try it in practice. And one of the big complaints was down in turn number 1. So what they've done here differently compared to last year that maybe caused some of that issue with passing that a lot of the drivers complained to me about is they added tires, half-submerged tires all the way around the inside of the speedway. And if you go back to last year's race, a lot of the drivers were kind of able to cheat the entry to turn number 1, slip up over that berm on the infield and slide past people. Well, a lot of the drivers complained about that entry to turn number 1 and saying that was probably going to be their best spot to pass, rather. So they have decided to take some of those tires out from the inside of turn number 1, trying to open up that area a little bit more to make some more passes available down in turn number 1. A lot of the drivers have told me they think it's going to make a difference here. So if you're looking for passing here tonight during the Salt City 100, odds are it's going to come down at that end of the speedway in turn number 1. Like I said, a lot of drivers complained to not only me, but to race officials as well about the lack of passing. I think that's going to fix it down in turn number 1 based off the drivers' reactions. We'll see how it works out here for 100 laps here during the Salt City 100.
Thank you very much. Roster of 14 on hand here for today's running of the Salt City 100. Of course, we'll have the United Rebel Sprint Series on hand as well tonight, as they ran a full program last night, and they will actually just run their feature event here tonight, and the IMCA division, at least one of those still on the card. Mike joining me up here in the stand, and he is the, well, not really the new voice of the United Rebel Sprint Series. He is the returning voice of URSS.
Well, they couldn't find anybody else, Brian, but it is great to be back here. Lots of folks have said hello and really appreciate everybody coming up and say hi. United Rebel Sprint Series was out here last night, just heat races, and your top 3 last night were in the money. So if you won your heat race, got a little cash. Top 3 were taking home.
Was it $500 to win a heat race last night?
$500 to win a heat race. I believe back when I started, could have been 500 to win the feature. So we come inflation, we'll call it.
Yeah, we'll call it inflation.
And we had 3 heats last night. Jeremy Campbell out of Wichita, Kansas. Of course, a lot of you guys know who Jeremy Campbell is. He's ran with the World of Outlaws. He's ran with the ASCS and seen him a lot at 81 Speedway in his 360 car nowadays. But he came out here and he's piloting a number 51. It's a Mike Peters tribute car, and Mike Peters is no longer with us, but his son Ojar puts the car together. And they were untouchable last night in their heat race. Not most of the heat races. Field got a little spread out on this half mile. Tyler Velasquez, he's a past track champion at DCRP. He took heat race number 2. And Ty Williams, he's a 2-time United Rebel Sprint Series points champion, won heat race number 3. At least that's what he told me. So, well, no, he is.
We can go with it.
But no, we have
Remember,
the IMC.
You cannot lie on the internet.
It's right. Whatever you put on there, it's true.
That's what we've been told.
And well, at least that's what we've been going with here this evening over the weekend. It's 2 nights out here at Salt City. Last night, the prelim night for the Champ cars, and we have the Modifieds here again tonight. So Modifieds in action, and Ken Schrader out of Fenton, Missouri. Some of you probably have heard of him before. He picked up the feature win in your IMCA mod division last night. I looked back, and he's got a couple of wins. He won a couple of times at I-55, it looked like.
He had kind of an interesting moment last night in traffic where he had a car that kind of got sideways, really had nowhere to go, ended up making contact, that car went around, and kind of a double-edged sword. If we'd have gone caution, chances are, because he did send that car around, he would have gone to the back of the lineup. Fortunately, though, that car was able to continue on.
He even made mention of that in his post-race interview down there in Victory Lane, and he said, pretty fortunate we stayed green. And no, the leader, they got jammed up. I was hoping for an easy night, Brian, and they twisted me up there as that was the probably a moment of the night where it was just everything was happening. Your leader, they got caught up behind lap traffic, and your leader went to the top, and then Ken Schrader, he went to the bottom. He chose the right line. So I was hoping for an easy night. They made it a little bit tougher on me. I've got everybody's on these apps now. It's all about the apps. I still got my paper over here. So
we've got paper, we've got pen, we've got Excel spreadsheets. We're kind of a mix of technologies up here.
It's beautiful. No, it's awesome.
Looking at your lineup here for the United Rebel Sprint Series, of course, Ty Williams going to be on the pole of that. Taylor Velasquez next to him. Jeremy Campbell actually going to line up in that 3rd spot. So kind of the inverse of our heat race winners from last night is how they're lining up here tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of an invert going on, and it is just feature events, just a feature for United Rebel Sprint Series. So maybe they'll get done, and I'm sure everybody's looking to get back to the pit area, be able to watch the Champ cars out here on the half mile tonight.
Modified just a feature.
I think they're running a full.
So I believe Modifieds are also running a full program here tonight. They'll have a pair of heat races as well as their 15-lap feature event. Of course, a couple of different ways to follow along. You can follow with your United Rebel Sprint Series in your IMCA division on My Race Pass, along with live timing and scoring for the United States Auto Club. Live timing and scoring will be available on Race Monitor. I want to remind you, if you see anything posted out to social media as well as Race Monitor, it is unofficial. Official points, news, and updates will be at USACracing.com at the close of today's racing program.
So you're saying watch out for AI?
Yes. So track work continuing here, and still time to go down, grab yourself something to eat and something to drink. Unfortunately, the USAC merchandise trailer not able to make the trip out here this year, but you can still shop online at usacgear.com. I believe I'll have to go look up their Facebook page, which that's one you definitely want to follow on Facebook, is USAC Gear. They do have a special going on here this weekend, as they were not able to bring the trailer out, and they do. It's a limited time offer, 20% off today and tomorrow only when you use code HUTCH at checkout.
The tires, a change out here this evening, Ryan, for sure. I talked to some officials as well, and they're thinking about bringing the Coldplay Kiss Cam out tonight.
Have fun with that.
And no, well, it's not official yet, so we're still working out some of the details.
It's officially unofficial. Just mind your P's and Q's.
And I know that a lot of people are listening to this, so we'll just keep it at that. So I had a whole thing ready.
If you want to light up Facebook, look up Mike Will. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, easy, easy. I'm on the X, formerly known as Twitter, as whatever.
And your handle? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's right.
So why choose AMSOIL lubricants? Well, 3 reasons: power, performance, and protection. They design specialized lubricants engineered for what you drive and how you drive. Visit AMSOIL.com to learn more. NOS Energy, where boundaries are merely suggestions. Fuel up, fire up, and never look back with NOS Energy. It's human horsepower. Try one today and follow them on social media at NOS Energy Drink. Racing Electronics has over 30 years of experience, and they serve every major form of auto racing. Don't forget to bring your scanner the next time you're at a USAC national event, as all of our broadcast audio is available at frequency 454.5000. Shop for your scanner today at racingelectronics.com or call them at 1-800-272-7111. Cookout presents always fresh, never frozen burgers, barbecue, hot dogs, all cooked fresh every day. And get this, over 40 different flavors of shakes. Prepared fresh and made by hand every day. It's all yours. To find a Cookout location near you, visit cookout.com. Sunoco is the official fuel of USAC Racing. As the world's largest manufacturer of racing fuel, Sunoco has been the standard in motorsports for over 50 years. Known for innovation, consistency, and high performance, Sunoco Fuels has been the choice of racers in virtually every form of motorsport, from grassroots tracks to premier international series. Committed support of the racing community, Sunoco powers champions and fuels unforgettable moments at the track. Car IQ has created a payment solution aimed at fleets that allows cars and trucks to connect to gas pumps to pay for fuel without the need of a fuel card or a credit card. Car IQ Payment Solutions, Car IQ Pay, replaces fleet card product, protects against fraud while significantly reducing back office vehicle reconciliation. Learn more at gocariq.com today. Hoosier Racing Tires' mission is to be the dominant customer-driven provider of racing tires to teams domestically and internationally. Their existence and continued success are dependent upon how well they meet their responsibilities to serve their customers by providing safe quality products to amateur and professional motorsports teams. For more information on the tires designed for champions, go online to HoosierTire.com. There's still time to set your lineup. Download the Dirt Draft app today to set your league. Play against your friends, your family, or even the guy in turn 1 that thinks he just knows everything about USAC racing. Use referral code USAC when signing up for a $20 digital gift card when you go online to USACgear.com. One of the neat things that we saw yesterday, and they have them lined up again here tonight, is all the vintage cars. We're going to look at that here on the FloRacing broadcast, as we'll have Dirt Draft Hot Laps coming up here in just a little bit as track work continues. And right now, getting a look at one of Harold Leap's old mounts down there along the front straightaway. Got the Orange Blossom Special down there as well. We got everything from the champ cars to sprint cars, jalopies. We got a couple of open cockpit midgets down there, and it is wild to think just what it took to get in one of those cars where you just have that little bitty bar behind your head, and you were usually taller than that.
Definitely. You can see how we've progressed, how it has changed over the years, and how they have evolved into the cars that we see out there today. I don't know if I would have done that, Brian. Yes, just a small Nerf bar back there behind your noggin. I'm glad that we just got them on the little midway out here this evening, because sometimes just because they're vintage, that doesn't necessarily, they still like to go fast.
I was going to say, there's actually a vintage car series. There's one in Nebraska. I think there's one that actually is in Kansas still, and they'll take those cars out on the track and, you know, get them up to speed.
And I've seen a few guys exit the track, not the way they came onto the track, maybe like in the, get a trip over to the infield care center, I guess you might call that. So just, it's nice that we can see them out here and appreciate them down on the midway here this evening. Still looking for, you know, maybe Brian to get in one of these things here. We could grease him up and shove him down through the top hole there.
You don't have enough Crisco.
Well, you know, it's pretty warm out here today.
Looking ahead on the schedule for the United States Auto Club, of course, USAC Silver Crown Champ Car Series back in action, and we head to the tarmac of the Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park at Brownsburg, Indiana. This coming Wednesday, it is the Race Aid 100, $5 off of every ticket and pit pass purchase going back into the Benevolent Fund, as that goes to drivers, family members, and those connected to USAC in their time of need. So it's a great cause and a great chance to go check out some great racing at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Again, that'll be this coming Wednesday. And of course, then we kick off one of the toughest stretches in all of sprint car racing. We're talking NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week, presented by Honest Abe Roofing. $50,000 up for grabs and point fund. $25,000 going to the overall champion after 8 nights of racing. They get the Bridgeport Rocker, and when you add it all up, there is over $300,000 that's going to be doled out over 8 nights of racing. It all kicks off at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Thursday, July 24th. That's a $10,000 to win affair for the drivers of the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. That is an invitation-only event. There are certain criteria that has to be met to compete in that event. We'll follow that up at Honest Abe Roofing Lincoln Park Speedway, on Friday, July 25th. $8,000 to win the remainder of the week for these events. Kokomo on Saturday, July 26th. Sunday, we head to Lawrenceburg Speedway, take a couple of days off, and then we kick things back up on Wednesday at Circle City Raceway. That'll be on July 30th. July 31st, the Terre Haute Action Track, the Don Smith Classic. Follow that up at Bloomington Speedway for the Kinzer Memorial, and we wrap things up down to the class track, Tri-State Speedway in Hopstadt, Indiana, on August 2nd. Of course, if you can't be there live, you can see it all on FloRacing, the official live online broadcast provider of the United States Auto Club since 2019. It's always a big question on social media. Is it on Flo? The answer, yes.
You're talking a little bit about your schedule, Brian. United Rebel Sprint Series out here, part of the program tonight. And of course, there's still time. If you live around this area, come on out to the Half Mile Speedway here at the Hutch Fairgrounds. The Salt City 100 going on this evening. Got a race scheduled in Beaver County Raceway. It's a national tour show for the Rebels, July 25th. It's a 2-day swing as they'll jump over to DCRP on the 26th for the Jerry Soderberg Memorial. And one highlight, big one here coming up on the schedule for the Rebels, Friday, August 1st and 2nd, Belleville High Banks, $13,000 to win as they have converted that over to a 305 event called the Belleville Nationals now. So, and a couple of just weekly shows rounding out their season here. August 16th, September 6th, Saturday, September 27th. You can check it all out, UnitedRebelSprintSeries.com.
Of course, Silver Crown Series, they were recently up at the Belleville High Banks. The American Sprint Car Series making their return after a decade of being absent from there. And it's great to see events returning to the High Banks, especially the magnitude of which they're returning.
Yes, it's not just kind of like, they are trying to bring in these classes, and they're trying to, like I said, this is $13,000 to win, and we talked about it maybe $500 when we started doing this 305 thing. And so you've got drivers that are coming in and they're putting these cars together specifically for these events. Very exciting to see.
Talk about tracks that are bringing in series and big events and really making it worthwhile and trying to really regrow what was there and bring some of the history back. This track right here is a great example of that. I know at one point this track was going to be no more. It was going to be leveled, it was going to be gone, and there was the fight to keep it alive, and everything that Phil, Kyle, everybody they have done to bring this track back from the brink. And it's really shown with the series and the shows that they have put on here. And of course, just the history that surrounds this track, the home of the Hutch Nationals, and the 100-inch cars and the sprint cars and everything that went with the Grand Nationals. And it's so cool to see the big cars back on this racetrack.
It really is. And like you said, they were going to close the doors on this facility. And that's a recurring theme, unfortunately, that you're seeing across the country, racetracks shutting down. And the community, different racers, promoters, officials, they got together, they saved this thing, and what a crowd we had last night. You guys really should be proud of yourselves. Packed the stands, and you still have time to get folks out here this evening as we're continuing to do track prep and get things prepared for the show this evening. But ASCS comes to town. You've got the USAC cars coming to town, the Champ cars, United Rebel Sprint Series. And then we can't forget about the IMCA, the weekly warriors that come out here and grind it out and help put on a show and make this all possible too. I can remember coming out here for the fair races for the Hutch Nationals, and there's a lot of history that goes along with this racetrack, and they've done a lot of work to get the track surface prepped up for a 2-day show like this. It kind of used to be a little bit of we're going to Hutch. It's just a drag race down to turn number 1. So, they've really done a lot of track prep out here. They're rolling it in right now and can handle a 2-day show like this, and got a 100-lap race coming up for the Champ cars. I can remember watching it was about 2003, the Hutch Nationals down, and I peeked over the wall in turn number 3. Probably not the best thing to do at the time, but there are just lots and lots of stories that go along with this racetrack. great to see all the fans out here and everybody getting back on board to support it here. We talked a little bit about those schedules, and we talked about the Rebels and different shows coming up for USAC events out here at Salt City Raceway. Don't forget, on August 22nd, late models are coming back here to the half mile. August 23rd, United Rebel late, it's a 2-day show. Friday and Saturday, you've got the late models plus your IMCA weekly. And then final IMCA points race on September 19th. And the ASCS National Tour coming in for a 2-day show on October 10th and 11th. So that's getting a little later in the season there. But they're set to make another return to the half mile if everything goes as planned. So a lot of great shows coming up out here. You can check it all out online. There's a website, saltcityracing.com. It'll take you out. You can find results for previous events out here, what's coming up, so you can stay informed. Just about set to get the pre-race ceremonies kicked off out here at the Hutch Fairgrounds. Concession stands are open underneath, and don't forget, you got the restrooms underneath there. While you're making your way around, grab yourself an adult beverage. If you're 21 years of age or older, please don't drink and drive on your way home from Salt City Raceway. Be responsible, folks.
So track work continuing here on the FloRacing broadcast. We're going to step away for a moment. We'll be back to the Salt City Speedway.
Hi, my name is Madison Pritchett. I'm 15 years old, and I'm from Cumming, Georgia. My home track is North Georgia Quarter Midget Association. I currently race heavy Honda and unrestricted animal. I'm thankful that I was chosen to be in the top 48 for the Petty Performance Edge competition. This opportunity pushed me to not only be a better driver, but also a role model for others to look up to. I want to thank NASCAR U Series for this awesome opportunity, and good luck to all the other top 48 drivers.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
Hey race fans, have you set your Dirt Draft lineup yet? Dirt Draft is the fantasy racing app you can download right on your phone. Pick a team of 5 drivers within your $100,000 salary cap, and the better they do, the better you do. You earn points to spend in the Dirt Draft Speed Shop for all kinds of cool stuff, from t-shirts and hats, race tickets and pit passes, or even a season pass to FloRacing. New subscribers even get a free Dirt Draft t-shirt. Download the Dirt Draft app now from the Apple app or Google Play Store.
Are you looking for a new race car hauler, trailer, or easy-go golf cart? What about something dependable? How about buying from someone you can depend on? Contact Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts. They're a certified Featherlight dealer with all kinds of trailers and other products to fit your needs. Located just 2 hours north of downtown Indianapolis, Elliott's Custom Trailers will deliver your trailer or cart anywhere in the United States. No matter where you're from or what you're looking for, the goal is always the same: ultimate customer satisfaction. So don't wait. Contact Elliott's today and find a trailer or golf cart that fits your needs.
Honest Abe Roofing is America's favorite roofing company.
They took the time to discuss all of our needs.
I couldn't be happier with my new roof.
The best part? They came in under budget.
Honest Abe Roofing helped us with their easy payment solutions, and now we can make low payments on the roof that we actually wanted.
I guarantee you'll get the best price for your roof. That's what my ironclad lowest investment guarantee is all about.
Race fans, use code RACE for 10% off of a full roof replacement from our executive collection.
Our summer block party is in full swing at Lou Fuse Kia Terre Haute. Celebrate summer with incredible deals like the all-new K4, $199 a month, new Sportage, $239 a month, or new Telluride, $379 a month, all backed by Fuse. Celebrate and save at our summer block party. K4's $199, Sportage's $239, Telluride's $379 at Lou Fuse Kia Terre Haute, home of the 200,000-mile warranty. Lou Fuse, we are family.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I'm faster than you. Yeah, well, I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder. I get wilder than you. You sure about that, bro?
Harder.
Slicker.
Cooler.
Tougher.
Let's go.
So what you got?
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.
So the heavy equipment making its way off of the racing surface. We'll have some of the push trucks continuing to roll around as they are guided down the racetrack. Very, very hot day, near triple digits, so the crew's having to do quite a bit of work to try to get the moisture down into the racing surface to try to give these drivers the best surface possible here this evening. So having to take just a little bit of extra time and a little bit of extra track work to go ahead and get that taken care of and work down in before we can get cars back out onto the racetrack. We'll have dirt draft hot laps to start things off here for the USAC Silver Crown Champ Car Series. Opening ceremonies that will come in with Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Modified heat races to follow that. United Rebel Sprint Series feature, the modified feature, and then we'll wrap things up with the Evans Building Salt City 100.
You're doing just about as good as I am.
Trying to balance the clipboard.
Just heat races last night for your United Rebel Sprint Series. Modifieds, their results from last night: Ken Schrader, Will Nusser, Jake Nightingale, Peyton Burkhart, Cale LeGrun, your top five. Shouldn't have lost too many guys. I know we didn't lose any of the URSS. There were a couple of champ cars that took a wild ride. left the building. Going to be a great show here this evening. Just finishing up, putting up the final touches on the track out here.
Yeah, unfortunately, 2 drivers in Silver Crown competition getting upside down over turns 3 and 4. Drake making mention that in the pre-race. Greg Corey actually getting up and over the wall, and we actually did an interview with him last night and showed a little bit of the car and just saw the extent of the damage that was done to that vehicle. Unfortunately, said last night he's going to be out for probably a little while here. And of course, Steve Jennington, the other one, getting up into the fluff over turn number 3, stood that car straight up and ended up going up and over a couple of times and caved the front end several feet in towards the radiator. So unfortunately, the frame destroyed on that car, ending his weekend.
And I do want you to know, Brian, that the truck was okay. The Silverado was...
I was concerned.
I knew you would be, so that's why I wanted to make sure and let you know it was okay. I did park in I parked in a different lot out here this evening.
So Cut Rate Auto Insurance did not need to get involved.
Didn't have to, no.
Perfect.
Heartland Credit Union, a sponsor out here, they're very happy that that Jennington did not wreck into my wife's pickup.
No, you're just happy he didn't because it's not the bank you're worried about.
That's right. That's right. You got that right.
Yep.
Speaking from someone who has experience.
I fear no one but her.
Yep.
So cars making their way down into the staging area here just inside of the front straighter. Real quick, let's go check in with Drake.
Well, this guy, we talk to him a lot when he's behind the wheel of an AMSOIL USAC National Sprint car. That, of course, is Brent Cromwell. Big spotter guy here, though, in the USAC Silver Crown Series, checking things out here. So let's kind of pick your brain from a spotter's perspective. We pick your brain a lot from a driver's perspective. What are you looking for here in this first practice session?
Yeah, first practice session, really the biggest thing I'm looking for is what the car is going to do. Not necessarily what it's doing right now, but what it's going to do when the track changes for us, especially come qualifying time. So just want to make sure Chase is comfortable in the car, and the car is going to do really what we need it to do for qualifying time. So,
of course, you're from this area of the country too, kind of these drier, windier climates. Can you provide any insight to the race team about maybe what to do for the race car here? Because like I said, you do have experience with these types of racetracks in the past.
Yeah, tighten it up. We're in Missouri/Kansas, just tighten it up.
And when it comes to being on the stand later tonight, I know every race car driver is a little bit different, so kind of take us in the world of the Pink 69. How much are you actually talking on the radio? Because like I said, a lot of drivers like a lot and some of them like a little. Where does Chase fall on that spectrum?
Yeah, I think for me and Chase, it's just, it depends on how much he can see, how much I can see, how fruity he's feeling that race. Most of the time it's pretty well just, there's car here, leaders are doing this. It's very minimal, but when we talk, it's about important things most of the time.
Importance, good luck tonight, man.
I appreciate it.
That's Braden Cromwell, spotter on the Peak 69 for Chase Stockin, and also driver in the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship. So you got a scanner too. All the frequencies are on that draw sheet that should be on USACRacing.com. A very fun part of Silver Crown Racing, listening to those scanners.
Yeah, one of the aspects here, if you're new to Silver Crown competition, this is the only series in dirt track racing that allows for that two-way communication like that, where they do have the spotters up in the grandstands watching what's going on. As we'll start to get things rolling here in Dirt Draft Hot Laps, first driver to make his way out to the speedways out of Ione, California, the NOS Energy number 91 of Justin Grand. Justin Grand joining us here this evening. Out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Dave Burkheimer, the Rich Ryan Garage number 31. Following him out to the racing surface, CJ Leary out of Greenfield, Indiana, the Avanti Windows and Doors, Apache Transport number 21. Two groups for Dirt Draft Hot Laps here this evening. Last year's winner, unfortunately, not here tonight as he is out in Eldora this weekend. Kevin Thomas Jr., who also set the one-lap track record at 21.090 seconds. Last night, we were actually underneath that track record. Unofficial. We'll see if anybody can officially break the one-lap record here. Next driver out to the clay, the Performance Plus Global Logistics, trainer Chevrolet number 8 of Kyle Steffens out of St. Charles, Missouri, against Steffens in the 8. Drake just talking to the spotter on this car. The driver's out of Fort Branch, Indiana, driving the Luke Fuse Automotive Network, Churban Fuel, Spec Chevrolet number 69. That is Chase Stockin. Chase Stockin in the number 69, going to make his way out to the Speedway. A couple of facts and figures of Silver Crown cars. A 96-inch wheelbase on these machines, a maximum car length of 15 feet. All cars on the dirt must weigh 1,625 pounds minimum, including the driver. The maximum capacity of the fuel cell on these cars is 75 gallons. The minimum capacity tank allowed is 59 gallons. So when they talk about these 100-lap races and how the car changes as we go, that fuel load at the start of the race is absolutely massive. So having the controls inside of the car, drivers are able to reach up, and they have 5 different controls they can choose from inside that car. And as they go on, you'll see them reach up, especially when we're under yellow. They'll be dialing the car in as that fuel load comes off.
It's not about the short runs. It's about where you're at the end of the night.
Definitely so. 360 cubic inch maximum displacement under the bonnet of these cars. It's not a spec head division. It's not like ASCS. There's several different styles of heads that are included. Chevrolet, you can run any OEM or aftermarket cylinder head with intake and exhaust valves in line. SB2, R70, R07, Mopar, Ford, as well as Toyota heads you will find in competition here, as well as normally on 360 you don't have the down nozzle like you have on the 410. In this class you do. So a couple of more drivers making their way out as we'll have everybody out to the racing surface to finish ironing in this half-mile oval. Sabin Bybent out of Cincinnati, Ohio. The Federer Tile, Kirchner Chevrolet 88. Rolling onto the back straightaway. Here on the front straightaway, just past the flag stand, Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, driving Advanced Material Technologies at Fuel Mart, number 10. The 65 rolling past the flag stand, this Travis Mahoney out of Oglesby, Illinois, driving the Alloy Specialist Incorporated, Automotive Machine Chevrolet Power, number 65. Rolling down the front stretch out of Norman, Oklahoma, the Patterson Elite Performance Powered Maxo Chassis number 61. He is a 6-time champion of the Hutchinson Grand Nationals. That is Danny Jennings in the 61. The 22 machine, that is Shane Cockerman of Benton, Illinois, the Bloomington Bison Hockey, Stida.com, CGCPAs, and Thoker Chevrolet number 22. Out to the Speedway now, just past the flag stand at Pleasant Hill, Ohio. The Metalloid One Performance Products, Crespa Chevrolet, Maxim number 54. That is Matt Westfall in the number 54. And the driver rolling in right behind him is out of Auburn, Illinois. The Avant Windows and Doors Apache Transport Stand Chevrolet number 20. That is Mario Klauser in the number 20. Another driver on the Speedway to tell you about, rolling into turn number 1 to the high side is Jake Swanson out of Anaheim, California. The Clayton Enterprises Woodwood Brown & Bill Racing Solutions number 6 machine. CJ Leary behind the wheel of that car 1 year ago in a wild battle with Kevin Thomas Jr. to try to grab the win. Contact about there on the back stretch, unfortunately sending that car flipping. Of course, Leary behind the wheel of that Team Arizona number 21 here this evening. Good speed last night during practice. Another driver to tell you about on the Speedway, that is Kip Hughes out of Enid, Oklahoma. The Pat McVickers Oilfield Service, Westmar Maxim Chassis number 60. He makes his way over to turn number 3. Of course, seeing United Rebel at the front of anything, I automatically think Sprint Series, but no, there is a United Rebel late model series as well. And Kip Hughes picking up a win earlier this year with that series.
Yes, they definitely had me confused there for a while.
Quick note of the number 22 as he makes his way up to the flag stand here. That team racing in celebration of Gary Irvin, a longtime USAC competitor and car owner who passed away in December. So that team racing in celebration of his life and legacy here this evening. So we'll see the 22 duck down into the infield, the 65 likewise, so they will start to peel drivers who will be in Dirt Draft Hot Lap Session number 2 down into the infield. We'll leave the drivers for Hot Lap Session number 1 out to the speed. Remember, there's still time to set your Dirt Draft lineup if you are a first-timer. Download it, use referral code USAC for a $20 gift certificate to shop online at usacgear.com. So cars continuing to file down into the infield. Real quick, let's go down to Drake.
Yeah, Brian, we talked earlier in our pre-race show about the adjustments made down to turn number 1, taking those half-submerged tires out of the racing infield, of course. One of the biggest proponents of that when I talked to him earlier today was Shane Cockrum in that Rice Abacus Motorsports 22. He said, man, there were so many times last night I was following a car in practice, and if I just had that little bit of extra room on corner entry to turn number 1, I think I could have made some passes too, and it's kind of turned their strategy upside down as well. He told me they were actually debating running a really soft tire to try to get the pole in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying and then try to pace themselves through the race, but that is going to go into a big factor here tonight with how their strategy is going to go, at least as far as the tires go with that Rice Abacus Motorsports 22.
You know, and a good point there, and not that they're wanting to run down into the infield, they're just wanting to be able to cheat that left front down there to kind of open up and make it where they're able to get across and get that slide successfully without getting up into the side of another driver. You consider these cars are 15 feet long, nose to tail at a maximum length. Try wheeling a Suburban around sideways, and that's basically what they're doing out there. And of course, with that massive fuel load we talked about, they're definitely, looking at it from a safety aspect, wanting to try to make the track as safe and as raceable as possible out here as we go to green here in Dirt Drive Hot Lap session number 1. Bottom groove starting to work in just a little bit here. They're going to let the drivers, looks like, roll around for just a little bit before they take them down into the infield. We'll see if they actually set them loose for another round here in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. CJ Leary so far the quickest driver, 21.338 seconds. Justin Grant, who was under the official track record last night, unofficially. See if he can top that here tonight. He's second quick right now with a 21.709. Chase Stockham, 21.717. Briggs Danner fourth quick, 21.945. And Kyle Steffens at a 23.287. Talking to Kyle a little bit as coming from the UMP Dirt Car Modified world, where he has amassed hundreds of wins and getting into the Silver Crown ranks over the last couple of seasons, and asking if there's any similarities. And he said in the Modified, you're on the right front all the time. In the Silver Crown car, you're on the right rear all the time. So it takes a little bit getting used to. As he stepped away from Modified competition, really wanting to focus in on the Silver Crown side and really hone his craft. And one of the questions Genevieve asked before the races went around and asked drivers, which track really keeps you on your toes? And one of the tracks he mentioned, Worldwide Technology Raceway, and definitely so at 180 miles an hour going to turn number 1. That one's going to get your attention.
That's about how I felt last night, having announced for a few weeks, years.
I was going to say weeks.
It all goes together now. It kind of reminds me right now, Brian, you said you're just kind of starting to open up and blow that bottom groove off. It's like at Knoxville during the when they just that first set of hot laps that comes out. Still a little greasy, give them a couple of chances out there.
Yeah, and we see this a lot throughout the season, even not only on Silver Crown side on the midgets with the USAC AMSO Sprint Car National Championship, where that first set, if they're not quite happy where the track is, they'll let them go again, and there's some nights where they'll do it for all sets. Just let them go out, kind of roll where they see fit, and let them go again. And typically you'll see lap times decrease by sometimes as much as a half a second when they do that, as problems for one of the drivers that was out on track. CJ Leary actually not staying out on the racing surface. He pulled it down into the infield. He is down there, the crew getting a look on that. Avante windows the doors number 21, and looks like one driver also having some issues That is Briggs Danner, the number 10. He is rolling slow on the outside of turn number 2, and looks like he is thrashing, trying to get the belts off on that number 10 machine. Staring down into the floor pan of that number 10, so I have to wonder if maybe something in the driveline has come apart for Danner as he rolled to a stop over in turn number 2. So saw him in there. He was thrashing to get the belts loose so he could lean forward and look down in the car. We'll see if Drake can get down there and possibly find out what exactly has gone awry on the number 10 machine. Danner currently 4th quick on the racetrack with a 21.861. So drivers from Dirt Draft Hot Lap Session number 1 will make their way down into the infield. Dirt Draft Hot Lap Session number 2. Going to push out to the racing surface. Shane Cochran returning out to the racetrack, and the Bloomington Bison Hockey, Stida.com. Indy Power Sports, Rice Motorsports Abacus Racing number 22. Mario Klauser back to the Speedway, again out of Auburn, Illinois. The Avante Windows and Doors, Team Arizona, Petty Performance Rossi Racing number 20. Talked about our upcoming events a little bit earlier, but again, want to remind you, the Silver Crown Division back on the blacktop this coming Wednesday, Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park for the Race 8 100. Again, $5 off every ticket and pit pass purchase going back into that benevolent fund, so we hope to see you out there. Following that, we kick off the NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A $10,000 to win affair, and over the course of 8 nights of racing, over $300,000 up for grabs between purse, point fund, and bonuses. And of course, the champion walks away with $25,000 and that really awesome custom one-of-a-kind Bridgeport rocker. Of course, if you can't be there live, you can see all the action here on FloRacing. The dirt track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Honest Abe Roofing, Lincoln Park Speedway, Kokomo, Lawrenceburg, Circle City, Terre Haute, Bloomington Speedway, and Tri-State Speedway, all a part of Indiana Sprint Week 2025. So cars out to the Speedway here for Dirt Draft Hot Lap Session number 2. Real quick, let's check in with Drake.
Was listening on the scanner there of Briggs Danner's team. It sounded like, according to Briggs, something let go in the driveline. So they're currently assessing how bad that damage is right now. There is talks currently of them going to the trailer, but as I said, they've just begun the assessment process. Also spoke to Dave Berkheimer a second ago. He says for some reason that car just keeps popping in and out of gear. They're also still in the early stages of seeing if they can get that race car fixed in time for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying.
Thank you very much. As time not on their side right now, once we get through our practice sessions here, we're going to opening ceremonies. We come right back into it with Honest Abe Roofing qualifying.
And they've got the pit crews out in the infield, and so if they are going to have to go back to the trailer, they're going to have to go back across the racing surface, Brian, because the pits are outside of Hutchinson Raceway Park here.
Of course, the good thing is that doesn't mean they're done for the night. They'll still be able to start, albeit at the back of the feature VIN, but we have seen drivers all season long make that charge up through the feature, so it'll be interesting to see how things play out here, especially Briggs Danner really starting to find his speed in a Silver Crown car. Of course, phenomenal in sprint car racing, so hopefully they can get that thing put back together and be ready to go here this evening.
I hope you guys give him some laps. Just make sure he's got some time.
Of course, we do have the IMCA Modifieds. We have the United Rebel Sprint Series in between the qualifying and, of course, our 100-lap feature event. Matt Westfall back out to the Speedway in the middle of 1 Kings Racing number 54. Swanson in the Clan Enterprises Beast number 6. Kip Hughes in the Patent and Vickers Oilfield Service number 60. He's over in turns 1 and 2. Also back out to the Speedway. Travis Mahoney in the 65. He's rolling down the Speedway front straightaway of the Speedway right now as we're underway here in Dirt Draft Hot Lap Session number 2. 21-236. Jake Swanson to the top of the board. CJ Leary, a 21-338. Justin Grant, 21-377. Mario Klauser, 21-445. And Chase Stockton, 21-471. So those are your 5 quickest drivers out of Dirt Draft Hot Laps.
Watching as the guys idle around here, Brian, they're trying to knock that berm down over there in turns 1 and 2. Still not halfway up the racetrack yet with the racing surface. Still not very wide out here at the half mile at Salt City Raceway.
Yeah, that was one of the things last night where that instead of kind of moving up, it was kind of setting in. You saw them bring the implement out. They were able to chew that up and roll it in and kind of get it up a little bit higher as the night went on last night, so we'll see if that is the case here this evening. But right now, letting the cars stay out. And again, they're rolling the high side, like you said, trying to get that groove worked up the racing surface. So that'll bring Dirt Draft Hot Laps to a close. Jake Swanson remains quickest, 21-131, even faster after they went back to green. Mario Klauser ends up second quick at a 21-234. CJ Leary, 21-338. Justin Grant at 21-377. And Chase Stockton fifth quick at a 21-471. The time they're chasing, set by Kevin Thomas Jr. last year, 21.090 seconds.
How's everybody doing here tonight? Everybody having a good time so far here in Salt City or what? What a beautiful afternoon right here in Hutchinson, Kansas. Jordan, what do you think, bud? How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Dirt track cars, 100 laps, Silver Crown, biggest race of the year. Just don't get much better than this.
You know, we've been here since Monday, watering this racetrack, and I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of hard work, but I can't do it without the crew that we bring from Dodge City. I'll tell you what, let's give the guys a big round of applause. They've done a well of a job all weekend long putting a great racetrack together. Thank you, Jason, Jesse, Chad, for everything that they do, and the whole staff here at Salt City. It's an amazing group of people, and it takes an army to do what we do.
So we'll have opening ceremonies coming up here in just a moment.
Just about ready to get underway. We have talked about schedules. We've talked about last night's results. Only thing left is to get things going out here at the half mile. Really excited to get the champ cars out here. They have a full show this evening, a full show for your IMCA Modifieds, just a feature for your United Rebel Sprint Series. Concession stands are open, folks. And I tell you what, a little bit later on, I hope they keep this Margarita Shack open right down here on the north side. That's calling my name. But there's a lot of great folks coming up here. You're still coming in through the front gate, so we've got a seat for you. If you know somebody that's not out here and they enjoy dirt track racing, get them out here, Salt City Raceway.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could get your attention down here to the center concourse, we have a very, very special presentation. And so now I'm going to turn the mic over to the one and only Phil Nightingale, General Manager of Mel Hambelton Ford and promoter of the Salt City Raceway.
Anyway, thank you all for being here tonight. I love the crowd. I'm excited for this 100-lapper tonight for our second annual Salt City 100. But right now, I want to talk about a great friend, a great person that we lost at the dealership this year, Mr. Jim Petty. For those of you who know him. He was a great historian. He loved racing. We're dedicating this race tonight and last night to Jim Petty. You can see the lap sponsors we got up here. Last year, Jim sold all 100 laps. When he passed away, he had a lot of them sold, and Nick and I tried our best to hire a couple guys to sell those laps. We didn't get them all done. We did a great job, but we want to continue this 100-lap deal just in Jim's memory for everything he done for Salt City Racing, Mel Hambelton Ford, but racing in general. He was a quite historian. For those of you who know him, he knew anything stats about this racetrack, and I could call him at any point in time and say, hey, Jim, what about this? And he'd know the stat. For example, this is the 18th time that we're running a 100-lap race on this racetrack for the 100 and some years that it's been here. So tonight I have his wife, Vicki. I have his daughters. I have sisters. I have grandkids. I got a whole slew of people here for him. And Kyler has a deal he's written up about Jim. We want to dedicate this thing to Jim Petty. We're going to miss him dearly.
Honor and a true racing heart at Salt City Speedway. Tonight we gather not just for a race, but to honor the life and legacy of a man who was more than just a fan. He was family. Jim Petty, a devoted supporter of Salt City Racing, a lifelong student of the sport, has taken his final checkered flag. While his passing leaves a deep void in our community, his love of racing will forever echo through the track he loves so much. Jim's passion for racing ran deep. He wasn't just someone who watched from the stands. He knew the sport. Whether it was stories of the Indy 500 or tales of the Kansas racing history, Jim could talk racing for hours, and he'd always walk away having learned something new. His knowledge was matched only by his enthusiasm and was eager to share both. Born to a proud racing family, Jim's connection to the track started early and never wavered. He lived for the roar of the engines, the thrill of the competition, and the camaraderie that only racers and race fans understand. Salt City Speedway was more than just a weekend destination. It was his home, and we were his people. Tonight's memorial race is our way of saying thank you, Jim, for the stories, the memories, the countless ways Jim made our racing community stronger. We race in his honor tonight with heavy hearts but full of gratitude. Jim, your seat may be empty tonight, but your spirit rides with every car that takes the track. You will not be forgotten.
And now, Salt City Speedway, if you will please rise, remove your non-religious headgear for our invocation and the presentation of our national anthem.
All righty, thank you all for coming out tonight. Usually I get a request on these two-day shows to do the racer's prayers, so please pray with me as I do the racer's prayer. Lord, I pray as I race today, keep me safe along the way, not only me, but the others too, as we go before the crowd and you. I know, God, that in a race, I, the driver, must set the pace. But in the race of life, I pray, help me, Lord, along the way. Although it's true, I am a sinner. If I trust in Jesus, I'm always a winner. Dear Jesus, we just thank you again for the protection you gave us last night. So, Lord, tonight, I just ask your blessing over this racetrack. And Lord, I pray you protect every one of these drivers and just get them home safe, and then all of us too. Lord, we give you the praise and the honor and the glory for that. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
He does it all, race fans. Another round of applause. Kyler Fetters with our national anthem. And I will not ruin that performance by mentioning a rainout event in Liberal, Kansas back in the day when Kyler and we all went to the Blue Light Lounge and sang karaoke.
Statute of limitations hasn't run out
That
on
has
that.
not.
Honest Abe Roofing qualifying next for the drivers of the USAC Silver Crown Division. An extra $150 to beat tonight's Honest Abe Roofing Quick Qualifier. 2 times around, your fastest qualifying time counting towards your qualifying effort. Honest Abe Roofing, America's reliable roofer, will present the Fast Qualifying Award for all 3 USAC national divisions throughout the 2025 season. Honest Abe has been installing, repairing, and maintaining residential roofs since 2005, and they want to give you the perfect roof to protect your home and keep you comfortable. Honest Abe provides the fastest service in the roofing industry, and they're supporting the fastest driver in qualifications. Visit honestaberoofing.com today to schedule your free roof inspection. First driver out to the Speedway, and he comes to you out of Fort Branch, Indiana. Driver of the Luke Fuse Automotive Network, True Brand Fuel Jewels, Lucas Oil Center, Ted Brown Quality Paint and Body, Insane Graphics, Ingram Machine and Tool, Pink 69 Racing, Spec Chevrolet Power and Max at number 69. This is Chase Stockin. In the number 69. He will start the stopwatch here as he works on to the back straightaway. 4th place finish last year here during the Salt City 100. A driver with 23 career Silver Crown starts, 4 top 5s and 9 top 10 finishes. Brings her off of the high side of turn number 4. And lap number 1 for Stockin, 21.770, 2:17.70 seconds on lap number 1 for Stockin. Working on to the back straightaway, a very silty-like racing surface here in Hutchinson, Kansas, as he will break through that silt just a little bit in the middle of turns 3 and 4. The car kicks sideways on him just a tick here. We'll see if he's able to recover here on the front straightaway. And he does, 21.645, 2:16.45 seconds for Chase Stockin. He will set the mark here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. The driver who was under the track record last night is on the Speedway now out of Ione, California. Driver of the NOS Energy Drink, Super Fitness, Himmelgarn Enterprises, Nick Bohannon, VersaLift Reynolds, Speedway Chevrolet, DRC, Himmelgarn Enterprises, number 91. This is Justin Grant in the number 91. '13th in this event 1 year ago, slowing suddenly in the closing laps with mechanical problems, trying to recover and rebound here tonight. As he comes around lap number 1, 21.510, 2:15.10 seconds for Justin Grant on lap number 1. 11 times a USAC winner this season, his most recent victory coming during preliminary night competition at the dirt track of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway during the BC 39. has 105 career Silver Crown starts, 9 wins, 50 time top 5s, and 81 top 10 finishes. Grant coming around, lap number 2, better, 21-143. Your Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier now, Justin Grant, and just off of the track record set by Kevin Thomas Jr., a 21-090. CJ Leary, the next driver onto the Speedway. He'll come around and start the clock here at Greenfield, Indiana. Driver Levante Windows and Doors, Apache Transport, Center for Intuitive Education, Curb Records, Kodiak Products, Sandra Engineering, Beavers Drive Team, Arizona Petty Performance, Rossi Racing, number 21. 12th place finish last year ago, battling for the lead with Kevin Thomas Jr. in the closing laps. Contact sent him flipping down the back straightaway. He'll come around lap number 1, and he'll be quick time at a 21-121, 2-1-121 seconds for CJ Leary. Now to the top of the boards here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. 80 career starts in Silver Crown competition, a trio of wins, 29 top 5s, and 48 top 10 finishes for the driver at Greenfield, Indiana. Let the rooster tail fly around to the front straightaway. Levante Windows Doors, number 21 coming around. Better, 20.994. That is a new track record here at Salt City. CJ Leary, your Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier. Driver out to the Speedway now is no stranger to laps here in Hutchinson, Kansas at Norman, Oklahoma. Driver the Patterson Elite Performance Powered Maxim Chassis, David Grace Motorsports number 61. This is Danny Jennings. Danny Jennings in the number 61. 4 career Silver Crown starts, 1 top 10 finish. That came last year with a 9th place finish during his Silver Crown debut here. Turns a 23-272 on his opening lap. A 6-time champion of the Hutchinson Grand Nationals in sprint car competition. Multi-generational family in a USAC Silver Crown action. Danny Jennings, the 4th generation driver to compete in this series. Brings it around off of turn number 4. We'll see how he does on lap number 2, and he does improve on time, not position, 22.908. 22.908 seconds for Danny Jennings, 4th quick here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Next on to the Speedway, he comes to you out of St. Charles, Missouri. Driver the Performance Plus Global Logistics, Trainer Chevrolet, DRC, Spartan Transportation, Steffens Motorsports number 8. This is Kyle Steffens. Kyle Steffens in the number 8. 39-time starter in Silver Crown competition, 1 top 5 finish, his best during the 2021 Bentonhausen 100. He ran 5th in that event. 11 top 10 finishes to go along with it, including a 7th place run 1 year ago here during the Salt City 100. Comes around 4th quick on his opening lap at 22.205. 22.205 seconds for Kyle Steffens. Rolls her onto the back straightaway. We'll see if he adjusts his line, and he makes his way off into turns 3 and 4. Pounds her up onto the right rear and up into the fluff here. The rooster tail flies off of the 4th turn, not quite to the high side, all the way at the exit. Comes around to the front stretch, and lap number 2 will be better, 21.854. Better on time, not position. 4th quick for Kyle Steffens. Next onto the Speedway, drivetrain trouble during dirt draft hot laps. It looks like problems rectified for the driver all the way from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Driver the Fuel Mart, DMW Advanced Material Technologies, E. Snyder & Sons Recycling, Boulevard Truck Repair, Phoenix Pavers, Power Control Systems, DMW Motorsports number 10. This is Brakes Danner. Brakes Danner in the number 10. Making his Salt City Speedway debut, has 9 career Silver Crown starts with a trio of top 5s and 6 top 10 finishes. Danner coming around 3rd quick in his opening lap, a 21.182. 21.182 for Brakes Danner on lap number 1. Best career finish during the Ted Horn 100. He ran 3rd in that event. The 2-time USAC East Coast Sprint Car champion making his way around to the front straightaway. 3rd quick on his opening lap. Does he improve on lap number 2? And he does, 2nd quick, 21.043, 21043 seconds. 2nd driver under the previous track record, but it's still CJ Leary with it in hand at a 29.94. Brakes Danner, 21.043. Next contestant out to the Speedway comes to you out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Driver the Feder Tile, Queen Shop Crest, F&S Collision, Kircher Chevrolet Beast. Sammy Feder owned number 88. This is Sabin Bybent. Sabin Bybent in the number 88. Another driver making his Salt City Speedway debut, has 3 career starts in Silver Crown competition, still in search of a top 10 finish. Comes around 6th quick in his opening lap, a 22.208, 22.208 seconds for Sabin Bybent. Regular competitor during the season with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. Just getting his feet wet here in Silver Crown over the 2024 season, continuing here in 2025. Going to bring it around to the front stretch here on lap number 2, and the 88 does roll quicker on time, not position, 22.025, 22.025 seconds for Sabin Bybent, 6th quick for the number 88. On to the Speedway now. He comes to you out of Benton, Illinois. Driver the Bloomington Bison Hockey, Stida.com, CGCPAs, Indy Custom Stone, Forecheck Marketing, Indy Power Sports, Rice Motorsports, Abacus Racing, Felker Chevrolet Power, DRC number 22. This is Shane Cockrum. Shane Cockrum in the number 22. The Chief going to make his way around here onto the front straightaway. Lap number 1 for the 22. Going to be fifth quick at a 21.773. 21.773 for Shane Cockrum. 56 career Silver Crown starts, 5 victories, 21 top 5s, and 48 top 10s. Making his Salt City Speedway debut. If you missed it earlier, this team racing a celebration of Gary Irvin, a longtime USAC competitor and car owner who passed away in December. As Cockrum coming around lap number 2, better on time, still fifth quick at a 21.679, 21.679 seconds for the driver of the number 22. One of our Silver Crown rookie contenders out to the Speedway, Travis Mahoney out of Oglesville, Illinois, driving the Alloy Specialists Incorporated. Liguori Auto Wrecking, Belle Plaine Farms, Midland Performance, Barnstormer Engineering, SV Motorsports, Automotive Machine Chevrolet, Maxim Chassis number 65. Also on the list of drivers making his Salt City debut, gets her up into the fluff over in turns 3 and 4, saves it, brings it back down to the racing groove. 10th driver out to qualify. Mahoney going to come around on the 65, 9th quick at a 23.497, 23.497 seconds for the driver of the number 65 machine. One career start, that was back at Port Royal earlier this year, had a 21st place finish. A former Stars midget driver, his father, a USAC competitor back in the 1990s, scored 5 wins for the USAC AMSO Sprint Car National Championship. Mahoney, lap number 2, better 8th quick at a 22.712, 22.712 seconds for the driver of the number 65. A 3-time late model winner and a 2-time Huts Nationals winner here. Kip Hughes out of Enid, Oklahoma, drove the Patent Vickers Oilfield Service, Bergman Tax and Accounting, Mac Tools, Midwest Refrigeration, Elite Collision Center, Westmar Maxim Chassis number 60. Last year, a beast. This year, a Maxim for the driver of the number 60 in that car with a lot of history and a lot of drivers, with the likes of Emerson Axon having wheeled that car. Kip Hughes coming around 8th quick on his opening lap, 22.366, 22.366 seconds for Kip Hughes on lap number 1. A 41-time winner with the Sooner Late Model Series, currently 9th with that tour. 6th with the United Rebel Late Models, picked up a win at Dodge City Raceway Park back in May. The 3-time NCRA Late Model winner to make his way around here onto the front straightaway, lap number 2, and we've seen this a lot so far. Better on the second time, just not better on position. 22.044 for Kip Hughes, put him 8th on the grid. His teammate currently atop of the boards. Let's see what the Speedwagon can do. Mario Klauser out of Auburn, Illinois. The Avante Windows and Doors, Apache Transport, Curb Records, Kodiak Products, Stan Chevrolet, DRC, Team Arizona, Petty Performance, Rossi Racing, number 20. Ran 11th here 1 year ago in a Team Arizona mount. 27 career USAC starts, 4 top 5s and 18 top 10 finishes for Mario Klauser. 2nd quick at a 21.034, 21.034 seconds, 0.040 seconds off of the pace of CJ Leary. So Klauser, now the 3rd driver under the previous track record here, rolls her off into turns 3 and 4. Does he have enough to unseat CJ Leary at the top of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying? Klauser comes around, lap number 2, slower, 21.139, but 2nd quick, Team Arizona. 1-2 right now here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Klauser, 21.034. Next out to the Speedways out of Anaheim, California. Driver the Clatt Enterprises, Willwood, Brandon Miller Racing Solutions, Penske Shock Suture Tire, Ford Powered Beast number 6. This is Jake Swanson. Jake Swanson in the number 6. A lot of speed during dirt draft hot laps as well as practice last night. The other driver making his Salt City Speedway debut does 5th quick on his opening lap, a 21.174, 21.174 seconds for the driver of Anaheim, California. Picked up a win earlier this year with the USAC CRA Series presented by Avante Windows and Doors out of Mojave Valley. That was back in February. 19 career Silver Crown starts and 3 top 5s. His best run earlier this year at the Belleville High Banks, he ran 2nd. Goes along with 7 top 10 finishes. Lap number 2, better, jumps to 4th quick at a 21.044, 21.044 seconds for Jake Swanson. And should be the final driver to qualify in Pleasant Hill, Ohio. The Metalloid One Performance products, Acro Seal, ShopAngryDuck.com, Bordner Welding, Acro Lube, AMC, Performance Powder Coating, MW Manufacturing, Heitmeyer Concrete, Fort Kings, Gressman Chevrolet, Max at number 54. This is Matt Westfall. Matt Westfall in the number 54. Comes around off of the 4-turn onto the front straightaway. Lap number 1 for Westfall, going to be 6 quick at a 21.470, 2:14.70 seconds. 62 career Silver Crown starts, 11 top 5s, and 32 top 10 finishes. Picked up a win in sprint car competition with the Boss Series down at Florence Speedway back in May. Into the fluff a little bit there at the exit turn number 4. Westfall better on lap number 2, 21.374, 6 quick for the driver of the number 54. Dave Berkheimer, problems on his car. As Drake reported on earlier, the car popping in and out of gear. He will not come out to qualify. As that'll wrap up your Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. 5th quick tonight is Justin Grant. 4th quick is Jake Swanson. 3rd quick is Briggs Danner. 2nd is Mario Clouser. And now your track record holder is out of Greenfield, Indiana. Driver the Avante Windows and Doors, Apache Transport, Kodiak Products, Curb Wreckers, Team Arizona, Petty Performance, Rossi Racer, number 21 race fans. Give him a hand, C.J. Leary. So we'll get CJ down into victory lane here in just a moment. Drake York going to get a word with him. The 8th time in his career he is your Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier. And what a way to do it here tonight as he shattered the previous track record. Let's send it down trackside.
Brian, you mentioned C.J. Leary shattering that track record. That was actually the first thing he talked about on the radio, so I think it's safe to say he's pretty excited about that. Also, C.J., your first USAC Silver Crown Quick Time qualifying award since 4 Crown a few years ago back at the Eldora Speedway, I believe 2022. I imagine this one's got to feel good after waiting so long.
Yeah, for sure. The racetrack was pretty prime. This place is like a mini mile with how sandy it is, and it's a lot of fun. So I had a good time last year. I wish it would have came out a little better with the last 18 laps, but I think I owed a little redemption. Mike and Craig and Eric, everybody's put a good effort on a race car. We weren't very good at Port Royal, so we wanted to come back out swinging, and can't thank Jerry Petty enough and Phil Rossi with Apache Transport. Without them this wouldn't be possible. So just looking to get them a win. We've been fast with our pavement stuff. Our dirt cars struggled a little bit, and honestly it's a bit of a surprise for me, but it's not from a lack of effort. These guys have been pushing, and we've been giving 100%, just haven't been where we wanted to be. So we're going to roll off right where we want to and see if we can't be down here on the front stretch at the end of the night.
Unlike sprint cars and midgets where we see multi-car teams, Silver Crown Racing, that's kind of a rarity. You and Team Arizona brought out 2 race cars here to have them both on the front row for 100 laps. How big of an accomplishment is that in itself?
Yeah, pretty big. I don't know if it's our tire choice that got us both on the front row, because we both chose to run a 20. So I felt like last year it was doable, and I think we might be one of the only 2 cars doing it tonight. So we'll see how it plays out for us after 100 laps.
C.J. Leary for the first time since 2022 at the 4 Crown Nationals, and is an Honest Abe Roofing Quick Time qualifier with the USAC Silver Crown Series.
Thank you very much. As the Modifies make their way back out to the racing surface, they'll have I believe a trio of heat races here, as that'll set up their feature event a little bit later on. Mike, what do we got?
They're grumbling out of the staging area. It's guys with fenders on them, Brian. Peyton Burkhart will lead the field out of staging, followed by last night's A-Main winner Ken Schrader, Randy Wilson, and Aaron Rail on row number 2, Colton Zapansky and Will Nusser. Will, the mayor of Larned, Kansas, Lance Ward, rounding out the field.